All right, I'm back. This is going to be kind of a quick video. We're just going to be looking at a few tools that Keyshot has, which will be great for your workflow if you start getting used to using them now early on. Because if you start using them, you'll find that they'll save you a lot of time in the long run, especially once you start getting to more complicated and larger projects. So let's just dive in. To preface this, I just want to say that Keyshot is very slow. It takes a lot of computing power to render out these scenes. And because of this, it can be very easy to find yourself waiting a lot for Keyshot to catch up. And it's all because of this giant view here that Keyshot is constantly trying its hardest to render out as fast as possible, which slows down the whole program and your whole computer. So generally, it's good practice to try to do as little viewport rendering as you need to. Here's an example. If you press the letter H on your keyboard, you'll see this little details panel pop up on the top left of the viewport. I usually have this open when I'm working, and I have it open so I can pay attention to this samples line here. Remember how I said that samples basically represent the accuracy of each pixel on the screen, and the higher the samples, the more accurate your rendering will be, and basically it'll look way better. Every time I move the view, notice how the samples reset to 1 and start climbing. Well, they never actually stop climbing. Keyshot is always computing this scene to the best of your computer's ability, even when we don't really need to or want it to. You can actually pause this computing with the pause button here or with the shortcut Shift P, which I've developed a sort of nervous habit of pressing this all the time. I'll pause Keyshot anytime I hop over into another program and don't want Keyshot taking up a bunch of my computing power in the background. Now you may have already noticed, but there's this button next to the pause button that turns on what's called performance mode. All this does is it just simplifies all of Keyshot's lighting calculations. It won't look very realistic, but it'll allow you to navigate the viewport much quicker, and this is great if you're trying to just move things around for composition, for example. Although, next I want to show you an even faster way to move objects around and navigate the viewport that's even better than working in performance mode in my opinion. That's by using the geometry view. You can open this up by clicking the geometry view button on the top ribbon here, or by toggling it in the Windows tab, or by simply pressing O on your keyboard. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest time savers in Keyshot. As you can see, this is like a second viewport that allows you to look around and manipulate your scene without having to try to navigate this slow and painful viewport. So what I do if I'm doing anything related to layout or composition, I'll actually pause the rendering viewport, open up the geometry view, and move a bunch of stuff around real fast in the geometry view, and then unpause the viewport to see it update. If you're working in a larger, more complicated scene, this alone will save you hours. No joke. All right, and my final time-saving workflow tip is to use region rendering as much as possible. You can turn this on in the top ribbon here, or by pressing Ctrl-Shift-R. This will make Keyshot only render a smaller defined portion of the viewport. I use this most often when I'm working on materials. For example, if I'm trying to finesse this small little lens on this product here, I would have to wait for Keyshot to render the whole scene just so I can see what the material looks like at high samples in this one part. But if I turn on region rendering and focus on that one part I care about, I can make adjustments so much faster. All right, so that sums up this video. I have some parting words, and that's that Keyshot is a monster. It's a beast, and it can easily take up a lot of your time. It can steal it away ruthlessly, and it can be quite stressful and demoralizing. But if you learn how to use it efficiently, then it can be a lot of fun, and you can create some really cool stuff. So keep pushing on.